So where do you want to start?
How did you decide that you wanted to become an architect?
Well, I was one of those strange characters who always knew what I wanted to do. I mean, I was drawing pictures of houses when, even before I was in school. And my sort of favorite story is when I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 or 9 or something, and my mother bought a new bedspread, and I drew a picture of a house on it, and I cut the windows out. Well, I got a hell of a licking for that, and my mother said, I'm going to sew those things in, and you're going to have that bedspread until you leave for college.
How do you know Bing Sheldon?
I know Bing from my neighborhood, and he was already a well-established figure in the city.
He is one of the better examples of the folks that moved here in the 60s and early 70s.
He's kind of had his fingers in just about everything that's gone on planning-wise in Portland for 4 or more decades now.
There was simply nobody else in the time, I would say, that had both as much audience and as much influence as a result of that audience, simply by virtue of his credibility and his history as Bing.
I think he was incredibly, important to, historic preservation and to helping to, shape the redevelopment of Northwest, and certainly his, partnership on, many different buildings with Bill Nadeau, was incredibly important.
He is a very bright, quite successful architect.
And a connector of the most amazing people that have come up to run this city and this state.
Intelligent, kind, and wonderful, and brilliant, and who I've long been so fortunate to consider my friend.
So I think today, unfortunately, what we do is a lot of planning that doesn't upset people and pardon me, you might as well shut that off.
Sure.
Although I promise it won't last long. Hello? Nope, not yet. I'm still being filmed. And we had 2 sons. One was born before we went to Copenhagen, and then the other one was born while we were living in Copenhagen. And Carolyn wanted a daughter. And she said, why don't we adopt? And I said, perfect. And I first met Lori. I realized that introducing her into the family was going to give the boys a real run for their money.
What you brought, not only to the city, but you brought this lovely lady into my life. And for that, I thank you very much.
Even the people who don't really understand or know your impact in Portland really do appreciate that you've created an amazing city here, so thank you.
Doesn't retire.
When we look at the stars at night, what we see is not what is, but what was. Actually, the light we see was generated thousands of years ago until it finally reaches us. The city, our celebrated livable city of Portland, is the result of the great efforts of dedication, vision, and creativity of past generations. And in turn, the great citizens of today are going to bequeath a legacy to those that follow. When I think of Bing, I think of the exemplar of a great citizen.
The riches of a city are its citizens.